So this is a Lunar Venus 580. Going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Jockey wheel, handbrake and hitch is all something we'll go through in person here on site, and also the connection to the car. Front locker, you've got your gas regulator up on the bulkhead with the yellow gas isolation valve on the side, so you can turn that gas off going through the regulator if you ever need to work, if anybody ever needs to work on the gas systems on board the van. On each side of the van at the front, you've got your wind down legs to stabilise the Caravan. So you've got one on this side and you've got one on the opposite side in the same place, and you'd have all four of the legs down to when the Caravan's on site, but you'd never lift the Caravan off the ground with the four wind down legs. You've got your Caravan heating and hot water vent on the side of the van, which is essentially the gas flue on the side of the van, same as what you've got on the side of your house. You've then got your water pump connection. Your water pump drops down into the aqua roll itself, and it very simply connects in place by pulling back the blue lever to pull it out, and you pull the blue lever back to push it into place in the side of the van. Above that you've got a filter for the water system itself. Then got your battery box. Put a battery in there own to demonstrate the motor mover working, but very simple. Open up the key, open up the locker with the key, and you'll also notice that you've got your mains power lead coming in the side of the van itself. Then got the motor mover and wheel nuts. Like I said, we'll come back to the motor mover later on in the video, but we're going to torque the wheel nuts before the Caravan leaves site to 120 Newton meters, so you can see they've been tightened correctly. Fresh water that goes in the front of the Caravan has to come out somewhere, and just here on the side of the van you'll see the two grey waste pipes coming out the side of the van. So there's nothing to do with the toilet system. The toilet system's just there, and I'll go through that in a moment. So you can put your two grey pipes that are in the front locker into the side of the van, and they drop down into your waste master down beside the van. You've then got your toilet tank, so you've got your toilet fill tank at the top here for the flush system, which you put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid. Then in the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette itself. To release it from the side of the van, you pull up the handle, pull the cassette towards you. The neck here you can turn out to tip the waste away when the cap's off, obviously, and the cap is the measure for the fluid that goes in here. And you've got an orange pressure relief button on the back, so when the cassette is full and you try and tip the waste away, you can press that button in, and what it will do is it will let some air through the tank so it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. On the back of the van on either side, you've got your wind down legs. As you can see, we've got one down for the purpose of handover. However, like I said, you'd have all four down for the purpose of using the Caravan on site. Down this side of the van, as I said at the front, you've got your wind down leg. Then you've also got your two fridge vents that allow the hot air out the side of the fridge itself. And again, there is a gas flue behind this one for when you're using the fridge on gas. Come inside the van. Above the door, first of all, you've got your main control panel for the Caravan. So you've got your mains power on and off, your internal lights, water pump, exterior light, and leisure battery voltage just there. And if you're connected to the car, it'll actually bring up the power that the car is putting through to the Caravan as well. First thing you do when you come inside the Caravan, you'll already notice that I've already got water in the system, as you can see here. However, to fill the system, you can come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the van. Open up the locker, and below that seat you've got a yellow valve. That yellow valve is a drain down valve for the water system. That water valve, when it's parallel with the floor, will allow you to fill the water system, and when it's pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all of the water off the Caravan itself. Next to that little white fitment that you see with the thumb screw on top of it is actually a water flow regulator. You shouldn't ever need to adjust it, but if you did, you could adjust the pressure to allow there to be more pressure coming through into the van or less, depending on how powerful the water supply was you were using. So like I said, that yellow valve parallel with the floor before you attempt to fill the water system. Then you'll open all the taps up on board the Caravan on the hot side. So the tap in the kitchen, you'll open that up on the hot side. In the bathroom, you'll also open the tap up on the sink in the bathroom and the shower tap as well. You'll then come to the switch above the door and turn on your water pump, which as you can see is already turned on. And once the water system is full and you've got water coming out of every tap on board the Caravan, you then be able to shut off all the taps, seal the water system up, and you'll be able to start, when I say seal up the water system, that I mean turn off all the taps. Once they are all turned off, then you can start thinking about warming the water on board the Caravan. So that is what this other black control panel is above the door with true remote on it. This is the heating and hot water controls itself. As you can see, the screen's on at the moment. We'll press the middle button, it will take us into the options for the Caravan. First of all, you're going to need to select the power source that is coming into the Caravan. So you'll press the central button. And as you can see, I've got it set up on electric 1. You can have mix 2, which is 2000 watts of power and gas. Mix 1 is 1000 watts of power and gas at the same time. Gas solely on its own for if you're off grid, and again you've got electric 2 on its own. Now when I refer to the electric 1 etc and the electric 2 and the 2000 watts is what that means, you would actually need to ask the site you are on to what power supply you can run for the heating and hot water system. For instance, if you were going to use the heating control panel to warm water up and you're going to have the heating on at the same time and you're only using 1000 watts, I would advise that you use gas as well to boost the system. The first option that you see here on this screen is the room temperature for the Caravan itself. So you've got the control here to spin it round to select the heat of the Caravan. So for instance, 20 degrees, pressing the button, and that will set the temperature to 20 degrees of room heating. The next one across here is the water temperature. So you've got water off, eco, hot, or boost, depending on how hot you want the water to be. So boost, obviously you'd use that for showering on board the van, and again I would recommend that you use gas to operate the boost function. Eco is around 35 to 40 degrees. Hot is around 45 to 50 degrees roughly. And then you've got boost for when you're showering on board the van. And again, to set any of these, you just press eco for instance. It'll come up on the control panel above, just to show, just up here, that you're running the water system on the eco setting. On the end here, you've got your option to run your blown air heating. So you've got eco, high, and sometimes on some of the vans you have boost. This one doesn't have that feature. You can have high, and that'll kick the fans in around the van, which as you can see, just below the seats in different areas, you'll actually be able to see the fan vents themselves. On the bottom of this control panel, when it's on, you'll actually be able to see that you've got a timer here, which we advise you read the manual for, clock setting, and then also some advanced settings, which are mainly for the engineers. You can access them because there is a reset in there, but again, I do advise you read the manual for this. The hob and cooker works very much the same as your household, with an igniter on the front, which ignites up all the gas on board the van. You would need to hold each one of the gas valves down once you have it ignited for around 5 seconds or so, just to allow the thermocouple to warm up. I'm going to go to the fridge now, demonstrate how the fridge works. So on the left hand side, you've got your control switch for the van, or for the fridge, sorry, should I say. So you've got fridge on 240 volt, and you've got your temperature control on the right hand side. That temperature control also works for when you are on the gas mode. So we'll go to gas next. To ignite the fridge on gas, you'd need to hold in the temperature valve and hit the igniter at the same time. And on the opposite side of the fridge, you'll actually see there is this little control panel just here. That little little screen, sorry, I should say, the little red line is essentially your pilot light. So when that little red line comes around into the green on the right hand side of that little gauge there, it will actually mean the fridge has ignited on gas. If it failed to ignite for any reason, it could mean the gas bottle is empty, gas isn't turned on, or potentially haven't got gas through the system yet. So we'd always advise igniting the cooker and the hob together to get the gas through to the last point on the gas system, which the cooker generally is. If you're towing down the road, you can use the fridge as a cool box. So when you connect to the car, like I said, you can use that fridge just to chill the beers and wine, so when you get on site, they're nice and cold. Again, when it is on 12 volt, you'd need to connect to the car first, then come inside the van, just open the door up, and you should see the blue lights come on inside the fridge to show you that the fridge is operating. The fridge won't completely chill on the 12 volt mode. It is literally a cool box and nothing more. In the bathroom of the van, very simple to use. You've got a toilet flush on the rear of the toilet. The toilet turns for your convenience, so what you can do is you can actually turn the toilet to whichever angle you want it to be, so you can get more for a more comfortable seating position. I think the nicest way of putting that is. And if you want to flush a toilet, you've got the blue electric flush on top, and you've got the grey waste handle down here, which you open up to allow the waste into the toilet cassette underneath the van. On the side of the toilet cassette, or the switch at the top, you've actually got a full indicator light. So that little icon you see there, if a red light appears on there, it actually means the toilet cassette from underneath the van is full. The next part of the video will actually be a motor mover demonstration from the outside of the Caravan. So I'm just going to stop the video for a moment and get ready for that. Once that's ended, the video will actually stop. But if you have any further questions on this Caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching, but like I said, keep an eye on the rest of the video for the motor mover demonstration. Thank you again. Bye-bye. To engage the mover against the wheel, you're going to first need the bar that you see here. You're going to put it on the side of the van. You're going to bring it over and lock the mover into place with the bar. You're then going to come around to the other side of the van. On the way past, we'll disengage your handbrake. As you can see, so handbrake off. We'll come in the locker on this side and put the red power key into place and turn the power on. We'll then also press the 2 green buttons on the controller. The controller comes on. And at that point we shall forwards. Backwards. Turn. Turn. And turn at the rear. To disengage the motor mover, or to turn the motor mover off, you'll press the 2 green buttons again. The controller will turn off. You'll turn the power off in the side locker. I generally leave the key in there. Put the key back. Put the handbrake back on. Put the motor mover control inside the van. And then you'll disengage the mover with the bar again, the same as when you put it on. And that's the end of the demonstration. Thank you very much.